What's up YouTube? Welcome back to Celio's Network. Today we're taking a look at one of the brand new VMAXs from Darkness, Ablaze, Salamence VMAX. And I don't have gameplay for you today, but what I do have is actually two different lists for Salamence VMAX that I've had in my Patreon spreadsheet for a bit. If you're interested in seeing all of the deck lists I'm working on at all times, you can find more information about that over on my Patreon. But today we're going to be taking a look at two different builds for Salamence VMAX because I know this card has potential and I know a lot of people feel the same way. So I wanted to share these lists because people have been coming in my stream and kind of asking me what decks am I enjoying a lot and what decks do I like to play on ladder, and my answer is usually one of my Salamence VMAX variants because they're a ton of fun to play and I haven't had content for them. So here we are talking about Salamence VMAX. Before we do take a look at the lists though, shout out to PotownStore.com, the best place for you to get PTCGO codes. Maybe you need to go grab some packs to trade for Salamence VMAXs, and if you do so, make sure you use code Celio for 5% off. So the first one we're going to be taking a look at is a fire variant using Welder, but let's take a quick look at Salamence VMAX first. So Salamence VMAX, 320 HP, VMAX Pokemon, and it has two awesome attacks. The first one is Sonic Double, 40 damage to two of your opponent's Pokemon, and then Max Wings 240 for 4 energy, and then it can't attack next turn. So it's really nice to have the Sonic Double that can set up knockouts for later on, in case you can't use Max Wings right away. Sometimes you'll even want to use Sonic Double, like against, let's say, a Decidueye deck if you're playing multiple Zigzagoons or multiple Scoop Up Nets, and you can try to take out multiple Rowlets or Zigzagoons, whatever it may be, in one turn, or just clean up multiple kills at the same time. So the first list we're taking a look at here, like I said, it is a Welder build, and I've actually worked on this one a pretty good bit. I played this in one of the Hexter tournaments. There are some interesting cards, so let's dive right in. So two of the interesting cards in this list, I think, are Potion and Big Charm. So Potion is not a card you see in competitive decks very often these days, but the effect of healing 30 can actually be really important versus Eternatus VMAX, since they hit you with all those Zigzagoon pings and then try to essentially take a one-hit knockout, bringing your Salamence down to 270 and then hitting it with their Eternatus for 270. The Potion can heal Zigzagoon pings that have happened prior, which is why I chose this over Stealthy Hood, because you have to get Stealthy Hood down earlier, whereas Potion, you can do it after the effects of Zigzagoon have happened. Then the other defensive tool against Eternatus is actually literally a defensive tool. It's Big Charm. The Pokemon this card is attached to gets plus 30 HP. So these two kind of cover a different ground. Big Charm can just be generally good even on double, since double takes 30 less damage from attacks, and then with Big Charm it has plus 30 HP. So Zacian after Alter Creation using Brave Blade would leave double with 10 HP. So just little things like that Big Charm can just be useful for, but Potion specifically is very good against Eternatus VMAX. So the Welder build for Salamence, I believe, is a way to be very versatile, with Salamence still being the focus of the deck. But you'll see we have Double V, we have Heatran GX, we have Victini V, and we have the two Volcanion. So we have a lot of options to work with. We have single prize attackers, we have evolution Pokemon, we have Pokemon that take less damage, we have Pokemon with one-shot potential. We've got it all in this kind of build. So everything kind of has its role. Salamence VMAX is definitely your main attacker. It's nice to get swinging with it as early as possible, because with 320 HP, not a ton of stuff is going to be taking it down in one shot. Like I said, Sonic Double can set up knockouts for later on. You can even put multiple energy on Salamence and use Sonic Double to threaten a Max Wings next turn, and then switch out and move that energy to Heatran GX, and boom, you have multiple threats on the board. Victini's really nice versus things like Mewtwo, or even versus Luke Metal Zacian, because Luke Metal Zacian will likely try to use Zamazenta, but then Victini V can just use Energy Burst for a few energy and take one-shots on those Fire Weak Pokemon. It's also very nice versus things that want to rack up a ton of damage on their own Pokemon, like Scorch VMAX might try to do, take a one-shot on our Salamence VMAX. So this is good against Scorch, it's good against Fire Weak Pokemon, obviously. Heatran GX is here just to be your one-shot machine out of nowhere if you already have energy on the board. Double is kind of like a late-game sweeper, and it's also really nice for what I noted earlier. If you put the Big Charm on it and you have Soft Wool ability, your opponent essentially has to do 270 to knock it out, and it's only a 2-prize Pokemon, which is really nice. Revenge Blast does 120 plus for the plus is 30 more damage for each prize card your opponent has taken, and we do play Powerful Energy in this deck, so the double can also be accelerated, or it can have its damage modified with Powerful Energy as well as Salamence can. Now the energy lineup was tricky to settle on. I originally liked triple acceleration energy because it felt more consistent. You could go turn 1 attach, and then turn 2 power triple excel energy, and you don't need a welder to use max wings. But I decided the benefit, or more so the potential of powerful energy, was more important, because 1 powerful energy means you're swinging 260, so that means you're getting Mewtwo in range of just 1 Zigzagoon ping from knocking it out. You're getting a Pikarom with Big Charm on it, 1 Zigzagoon ping from knocking it out. And with 2 powerful energy, you are knocking on an ADP. So I felt like powerful energy was giving you more potential to do more things, whereas triple acceleration energy felt safe. And I decided to go with this build going for the most potential I could. So that's why powerful energy is there in place of triple, but I wouldn't hate it if you wanted to try triple just to be super consistent with your energy attachments. The last Pokemon that attacks we didn't mention is Volcanion, and Volcanion gives you coverage versus Decidueye, while it also has the Flare Starter attack that can attach 3 fire energy cards to your Pokemon if you want second. And then, of course, we have some support Pokemon. We got the Crobat, we got the 2 Dedenne, Eldegoss V, and like I mentioned, Zigzagoon is really nice to clean up when you missed by 1 damage counter. We don't run Scoop Up Nets in this list. The Zigzagoon is just a one-time thing, but it is very effective versus Mewtwo. So we've got a couple more interesting things. We've got the Tool Scrapper. Like I said, Mewtwo, we can knock it out with Zigzagoon and a powerful energy, but if they have Big Charm, we can't. Tool Scrapper for that. Tool Scrapper is good against Luke Metal Zacian because we can get rid of their Metal Goggles. If they have Weakness Guard energy in their deck, then Metal Goggles can be a problem because it's making their Pokemon tankier, and they took their weakness away. So Tool Scrapper helps us out there. The 1 reset stamp is very nice. I would love 2, but I can't reasonably find space for it because I like the list how it is, but I don't want to run 0 hand disruption, so we just run the 1 reset stamp. And our supporter line's pretty thin because it is a welder deck. We run 4 welder, 1 research, 2 boss. And only 1 research because you don't really want to be researching. You want to be using welder. So you probably could cut some of the text out of the deck and go for some Pokegears. So maybe cut like the Big Charm, the Air Balloon, the Tool Scrapper, the 12th Energy, go for Pokegear. And that might make it more consistent, but I do think the deck functions fairly well like it is, and it has the versatility that I want out of a Salamence VMAX deck, because I do think Salamence VMAX's potential lies in the fact that it is a it uses colorless energy and has 2 very strong attacks and a weakness that is not very relevant, and using colorless energy allows you to do a lot of things like build a fire deck, or you can build a lightning deck around Salamence. Now, the thing I don't like about the lightning build, it's very hard to find solid tech attackers without running Turbo Patch, because all of your attackers need 3 energy. It feels pretty inconsistent to power them up in just 1 turn. So like double you could use with attach Coco Prism, but then you can't get that 3rd energy down. You can't use triple acceleration energy on it. And then some lightning attackers like Coco V, or even the non-V Tapu Koko from Darkness Ablaze, They can't use triple excel, they get no benefit from powerful energy, and we just have the 4 lightning in the deck. And they need 3 energy to do their attack that would help us against something like Decidueye or Zamazenta V. So this build, what I do like about it, it's very, very consistent, and against the decks that don't wall it out, like Desi and Luke Metal Z, it feels really strong. Now, I don't have the potion and the big charm in this list because like I said, I'm going for a very consistent build. This deck just feels so smooth all the time. We have the Jirachis, we have the Scoop Up Nets, so Scoop Up Net works with both Jirachi and the Galarian Zigzagoon. And because I feel like this deck gets the turn to max swing off fairly consistently, and you can set up 2 Salamence Vs at once with the Dance of the Ancients, I feel like if the Eternatus responds with a one-shot on you, you are usually able to respond back at them with another Salamence VMAX, and they don't have energy acceleration in the form that we do with Dance of the Ancients, so we can have 2 ready to go that are just 1 energy attachment off. Of course, they can use Power Accelerator, I believe Eternatus V's first attack is, but they usually can't back-to-back knock out 2 Salamence VMAXs because that would need a total of 10 Zigzagoon pings, I believe, or 2 Zigzagoon pings, a Power Accelerator, and then 5 more Zigzagoon pings, and some aren't even running Scoop Up Net anymore, so I don't feel like I need the Big Charm Potion. And because, like I said, this deck's the pro of this deck is that it's just so smooth and so consistent, in my opinion. So this build, a lot less fancy cool stuff to look at, but the energy lineup is neat. So we play the 4 lightning, 4 powerful, and 4 triple acceleration, and that just feels really, really good. Now, like I said, I don't have an answer for Luke Metal Z in this deck, and I don't have an answer for Decidueye, but it feels pretty winnable versus a lot of stuff in the format, and the deck just feels very smooth, which is nice. So I hope you like these Salamence VMAX lists, and I hope you can start trying these out for yourself. Of course, like I said, make some changes. Not everybody's going to agree on the same list, and that's kind of how I always think about deck building, but I do think these at the very least are very good starting spots if you're interested in building Salamence VMAX. So I hope you have as much fun as I have been having with this card and with these lists. I'll leave the PTCGO exports either pasted in the description, or I'll make just a little Google sheet to link both of the lists at the same time down below. Be sure to check out PotownStore.com for all of your PTCGO needs and use code CELIO for 5% off. Like I mentioned at the beginning of this video, I do have a Patreon. For $3 a month, you get all of my lists in a spreadsheet. When I do matchup spreadsheets, you get all of my matchup spreads, and I write a few articles for all my patrons, yes, patrons. And if you join, I can learn how to pronounce Patreon correctly, so consider doing that. Subscribe to the channel if you have not already. I really appreciate all the support. Hope you have a good day, and I'll see you next time here on Celio's Network.